We've rolled back our football prices. Wager Talk's first full year was 2015, and we've lowered our football season packages to match what we charged that football season. Why? It's simple. We want to make our season-long packages an extraordinary value. You can buy a full college football season or full NFL season for only $5.99 each. But if you buy a college football NFL combo from the same handicapper, you pay only $8.99. Looking to mix and match handicappers? We have you covered. Just email support@wagertalk.com for a bundle discount and to create any handicapper combo you can dream up.
Welcome into the opening line report. NFL regular season. We're talking real football. It counts on the gridiron. We're getting you on the right side of some of these moves. He's Teddy Covers. I am Drew Martin, answering your questions as well on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Come join us in the chat box. August 30th here, getting ready for week 1 NFL. Teddy Covers, without further ado, welcome into the show, buddy. Happy Monday morning to you.
Yeah, but this isn't a regular Monday. This is a big Monday because the preseason now in the rearview mirror. So when we talk about the quote-unquote opening lines, obviously these aren't true opening lines. As the season progresses, as we get into week 2 and beyond, we'll have legitimate opening lines on Monday. Today, these opening lines that we're talking about and the movements thereof, we've got numbers. The openers are going to be back from 6 months ago when week 1 numbers open. What I'm going to do is talk about where the lines have moved since then and what we expect to see in terms of line movements, total movements over the course of the next 2 weeks before these games kick off. So the goal is to give you good info. And of course, the goal is to get you on the right side. Do I bet this now? Do I wait until closer to kickoff? See if we can give you some good advice over the course of the next 40 minutes or so right here on the opening line.
Absolutely, Teddy. Well said. And guys, something to pick up there is, I guess this opening line report, one, it's for week 1 real football here. The regular season could be a little bit different. And also what Teddy said is, normally we're talking about the opening lines just from like 6 days out, 7 days out. From this one, we'll be talking about the opening lines, I guess, however Teddy wants to do it, but it could be, from literally months ago, Teddy, right? You're talking about the opening line all the way till right now.
Yeah, these numbers came out, February, March?
Right.
It's been a while. When you see the openers on the screen, those are the opening numbers. I'm going to talk about where the numbers have moved since then, where they moved over the course of the last week or two, and what we can expect between now and kickoff. That's the goal of today's show.
Absolutely, guys. And second thing up here is questions in the chat box, because if we have some time at the end, we're going for 30, 40 minutes here, NFL opening line report style. Feel free to fire it away in the chat box. What questions you have, for betting the NFL this season. So at the top, Teddy, Thursday, September 9th here, we got Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay here, defending Super Bowl champions. 52 being the total in Raymond James. Tampa Bay -6. That was the opener. We're seeing -7.5, 8, depending where we're shopping now, Teddy.
Yeah, obviously with Dak Prescott missing the entirety of the preseason, the betting market's reluctant to put money on Dallas for the opener. The defending Super Bowl champs, Tampa Bay, are certainly answered whatever questions anyone had about them in the preseason. I don't think people had a whole lot of questions about Tampa in the preseason. But most importantly, for the Bucs, for this matchup, the defending Super Bowl champs have a real good track record in these Thursday night openers, and the markets are aware of that. Right now, I'm seeing mostly 7.5, 50.5 out there. There are some 8s out there. I would expect that when Prescott is announced as good to go, we will see some Dallas money, but I don't think there's going to be a flood of Dallas money. I'm not convinced that Tampa -7 is going to exist anywhere between now and kickoff. It might. We could see that much Cowboys money to drive this line back to 7, but feels like 7.5 more likely to be the closer than 8 or 7.
Teddy, you sent an interesting trend there, stat, in terms of defending Super Bowl champions. The opening Thursday night have had a good track record. Is that something you would kind of carry over from team to team, something to look to bet on?
Yes, absolutely. If I'm playing, and I put a free play up on Tampa some point over the summer when they were still -6.5. This line can't hold at 6.5. It's going to close higher. And part of that thought process was, yes, I like the defending champs at home in that Thursday night opener. The track record's been good. And I also thought at the time this 6.5 can't hold. And it didn't.
Good number there at the 6.5. And moving down to the Sunday slate here, we got Sunday, September 12th, top of the card in rotation order, guys. 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific kick here. 4-5-3, 4-5 for the rotation numbers. Pittsburgh Steelers, Buffalo Bills. We're seeing the Bills. I'm seeing the opener 6.5, still sitting at 6.5, Teddy. So not a lot of movement sidewise. And looks like 49.5, 50 being the total right now, Teddy.
There are some sevens that are starting to pop. I don't know that the broader betting marketplace is going to move to 7 on this game, although I wouldn't be shocked at all if it did. Buffalo had a good preseason. There's a lot of respect for the Bills in the marketplace. And the Steelers are on the other end of the equation. When it comes to betting marketplace respect, we haven't seen a lot of love for Pittsburgh this past offseason, obviously with a new offense and an aging quarterback going up against Sean McDermott's defense isn't something that bettors seem to be particularly excited about on the Pittsburgh side of the equation. The bigger move, and that's come this morning, has come on this total. They're betting the total under as we speak. Buffalo, a defensive-minded team. Pittsburgh, a team that may have some offensive issues in the first game running a new system under Matt Canada. Hence, some under money coming in today. Now, right now, this total is right where it opened. But in the course of the A, last hour, and B, last few days, the money's coming on the under for Pittsburgh and Buffalo. If you like that under, bet that sooner rather than later.
Guys, next game up, 4-5-5, 4-5-6 here. New York Jets, Carolina Panthers. We're seeing the Panthers at home now, Teddy. Open -4, mostly 4.5s now, so 4 in the hook, home favorites. 44 being the total here.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little bit of Carolina money and a little bit of over money over the course of the last 24 hours. It was mostly -4s out there. I thought there was a chance it would go down to 3.5. That's not the case. The Jets didn't have the type of preseason that's making the betting markets particularly excited about their chances in week 1 and moving forward. So we're seeing anti-Jets money coming in. I don't know if this line's going to move, is going to blow past this 4.5 or not. It could. I don't see a lot of attraction for the Jets here. If you like Carolina, I wouldn't hesitate. Bet this one sooner rather than later. We're also seeing some over money come in on this one. This was 43 last night. Now we're sitting at 44 this morning. So the market's saying that Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson likely to be chucking the ball around a fair bit as the Panthers take on the Jets.
Check him out. Teddy covers WagerTalkingSportsMemo.com. He's got his NFL season win totals report, the part number 2 coming out today. So today, a great day to check out Teddy covers expert page at WagerTalk or SportsMemo.com. He is a guy 225 and 173. That's 57%. The last 6 years in terms of his NFL production here, guys. And in that NFL season win total report, 69%. That's 91 wins, 41 losses, going all the way back to 2001. So multi-decades here of Teddy covers beating the market. And guys, a great thing I love about it, I do it personally, is I read the analysis because it helps you week to week betting the NFL as well. So check that out. Part number 2 coming out today, right, Teddy?
Yeah, 1 o'clock Pacific time, and that'll be the entirety of the report. Obviously, we released 4 plays at the beginning of July before anything had happened in the markets, and now at the end of the postseason, there's 2 more that, basically there were some things I wanted to see, and I wanted to see how the marketplace adjusted. And we've gotten, again, 2 more plays today, 1 over and 1 under. So it'll be a 6-play report, 5% big tickets and 5 additional selections, total of 4 unders and 2 overs. You can get all that right now because I'll tell you what, the report comes out at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern today. And by 1:30 Pacific, the lines on these 2 team totals are going to have moved. Don't know how much, but the betting markets move off of these numbers. So if you want to get on board now and get those plays right when they get released. Again, 1 o'clock Pacific time / 4 o'clock Eastern today.
And again, guys, just a reminder, talking about the betting markets moving 69%, 91 and 41 since 2001. So, yeah, the secret's getting out in terms of the betting markets moving on some of these winners. Teddy covers getting out with the season win total report. But as we make our way down here on the September 12th card, the Sunday card, 457, 458, the next game up, Jacksonville and Houston. Teddy, this is one of my favorites on the card. Talk about a interesting handicap. This has got that written all over it. -3. We're seeing the Jags as the road favorite. Teddy, last time Jacksonville was the road favorite, I can't tell you when. Total of 45. Lot going on here, Jacksonville and Houston, Teddy.
Actually, I should look that up to see the last time the Jets. I know they were certainly road favorites that one year where they went to the they won like 11 or 12 games and went to the AFC title game, but that is well in the rearview mirror now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was 4 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
It wasn't forever ago for the Jets. True. They had that one good year where everything went right for them. Didn't last long.
No, you're right. I forgot about
the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I didn't think this 3 could hold on the Jags. You're seeing a 1.5 at the opener, moved to 2.5, and then up to 3. The markets are still broadly at 3 with Jacksonville, and off of Trevor Lawrence's performance yesterday, I'm not convinced that it comes back down. At the same time, there are a couple of leading indicator books in the global marketplace that are sitting at 2.5 on this. And Jacksonville, not a team that many bettors that I've talked to are comfortable laying this type of price with. So it's 3 now. It may well stay there, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see 2.5 on the Texans. Then again, the Texans preseason was bad enough that I'm not convinced we're going to see a whole lot of Houston money in any way, shape, or form. This total's just sitting. It's been at 45 all summer. It's sitting at 45 right now. I haven't seen any move on the Jags-Texans total just yet.
Yeah, going to take a lot to get some Texans money here. Maybe the hold your nose special on the home underdog Texans. We got Arizona and Tennessee next game up, guys. 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific kick here. 51.5 or 52 being the total right now. Teddy, Tennessee -3-point home favorites almost across the board at the Wager Talk odds screen, Teddy.
Yeah, and this is a line that I don't see moving off of 3. There's no urgency to bet this side. It's been sitting at 3. Since the beginning of June, opened 2.5 and moved to 3, and that's where it's been, and that's likely where it's going to stay. I'm not seeing any indications that the total is moving. I'm not seeing indications that the side is moving. This line looks pretty painted for this better. Painted meaning that it's not going anywhere. Certainly not at the current moment.
All right, the line is painted, meaning it's not going anywhere. I like that. Little slogan there, Teddy. It's one I might use here in the future as we move down. Talk about another good one. A team going across country, actually, Teddy. Yeah.
I just wanted to make that the only way that I see that this line could move. There's already COVID in Tennessee. They've already had a COVID outbreak. If Vrabel doesn't coach this week or there's some issues that could bring some anti-Tennessee money into the marketplace. But at this stage, we don't know. But so I'm saying it's painted 3. It's going to stay 3. There's a chance if the Titans outbreak is ongoing that it'll drop back down. That's all I want to say. So even though it's painted right now, if it's going anywhere, more likely 2.5 than 3.
Okay, watch out for that, guys, as we got the LA Chargers and the Washington football team. Glad I got both of those right in terms of city and team name, Teddy. We got -1, -1.5. That's the LA Chargers on the road. 44.5 being the total in our nation's capital, Teddy.
And this is another one that's just been sitting all summer and not doing anything. The Chargers, 1.5 across the board at most locations. There's still ones out there. Total sitting at 44.5 in most spots, so it has gone down 0.5 point. But in terms of recent line moves, this line, it's a stale number that's not taking any action. And I'm not convinced that it will. There's been enough market support for both of these teams. There's the season win marketplace. There's the preseason marketplace. There's enough support for both these squads. I'm anticipating two-way action on this ball game and don't anticipate a big line move here. I don't see it. And I was going to say, I was like, well, if you like the Chargers, but the more I think about it, I don't see the Chargers taking a ton of money in this one. I expect LA to go off in this very range as short road favorites in the total in the 44.5, 45.
Teddy, one of the handicapping things I bring into this game, because I find it fascinating, the Chargers, a lot of people liking them, Washington, that defensive front they have. How much do you factor in home field advantage for week one? Meaning if this was week two and the Chargers had a home game week one, having to travel across country, East Coast, do you think this line would be much different?
No, I don't think it'd be much different at all. Except for that, you're going to see adjustments based on what we see in week one.
Okay.
And the markets tend to overreact a lot to what they see week one. After 2 weeks in the NFL, you'll be amazed how many teams are 1-1 ATS. The teams that dominate the first week don't always dominate the second week and vice versa. But I don't know that it's a huge difference. Now, people do worry about the West Coast teams traveling east for the early start games. My experience has been that in week one, it's basically a non-factor because teams aren't yet in that rhythm. Yeah. So it's not anything. And that may be why the Chargers have been holding as road chalk here. There's a lot of respect for the Chargers in the market. So, on paper, that's a pretty good looking football.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed as well, Teddy. In meaning, the Chargers can really head to the East Coast whenever they want because, not really whenever they want, but if it was a normal week and they were traveling, they would normally have to wait until, the day before the game, if not 2 days before the game. But in this case scenario, they can go whenever they want. That's what I was kind of getting at. If week one doesn't factor in as much, in your opinion, Teddy.
And they're not. And again, what you worry about with the West Coast teams traveling east is that for the early start games is that on their body clocks, it's a 10 a.m. start. And these guys aren't used to that in mid-season. But coming out of training camp, it's not a factor.
Right.
Hasn't proven to be a factor. And the laying points with West Coast teams traveling east for early start games in week one is not a negative expectation wager. It's shown, it's a 50-50 proposition. It's not, you always bet against this or a clear trend pointing to betting against these type of teams.
I like it. Guys, this is the NFL opening line report each and every Monday here, 1:00 Eastern time, Wager Talk YouTube channel, also on Twitter, at Teddy_covers, at Drew Martin Bets. Feel free to throw out any questions here in the chat box. We'll hit them at the end before we close this out. And moving down the list here, Teddy, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons, the Battle of the Birds here, 1:00 Eastern, 48 being the total. Looks like -3 in the hook. That's -3.5, almost across the board in terms of the Falcons being the home favorite here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Teddy.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of over money. This was 47 at the open. Now it's 48. Nothing dramatic. I guess I'm surprised. I thought we'd see some Philly money. I didn't know these 3.5s were going to hold. There hasn't been anything like about the Falcons in the preseason, really. They had a rough preseason. The offensive line had a rough preseason. The defense wasn't pretty. And with Philadelphia, they got playmakers. I'll give the Eagles, I don't know how good the defense is going to be, but at the same time, in terms of in the trenches, the Eagles are strong, and they got guys that can turn, short catches into quick strike touchdowns, a number of them on the offensive side. And, if this line's going anywhere, Philly's going to take money. All right, 3.5. You like the Eagles. I'd jump in on that now. And I haven't seen any signs of it in the marketplace yet, but this is a spidey sense thing. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see Philadelphia money between now and kickoff. People like the Eagles, take the 3.5 now. This one is not going up. It can only go down.
Next game up, we got the Seattle Seahawks, Indianapolis Colts here. Teddy, we're seeing the Seahawks -2 in the hook, road favorites. We are seeing some -3s out there as well. We got 49 being the total. Flip favorite here, Teddy. You liking anything Seahawks Colts?
Well, I mean, the flip favor is everything to do with Carson Wentz injury. Obviously, we don't know yet if Wentz is going to play. Right? If Wentz does play in week one, we will see some Indy money. I don't know if we'll see a ton of it. And as for Seattle, again, Carroll's got a good track record in these traveling east in week one games. 3, the markets have been reluctant on hanging numbers for this game because, there's a big drop off. Not that Wentz is great, but behind Wentz is worse for Indy. Ellinger, Eason combo is not inspire confidence in anyone, especially against the Seahawks defense. But if Wentz goes, we're likely to see some money for the home dog. If he doesn't, we're likely to see some money for the road favorite. And if he doesn't go, we're likely to see some money for the under as well.
Still on the 1 o'clock Eastern kicks here. 2 more left before we head to the afternoon kicks on Sunday, September 12th slate here. We got Minnesota and Cincinnati. Next game up, 48 being the total in the Queen City. We got -3 in the hook. That's the Vikings as the road favorite, Teddy.
Yeah, and again, this is another one that I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back to 3. It opened 3. The money came on Minnesota. And Minnesota's been a hot team in the off-season betting marketplace. Certainly under Mike Zimmer, the Vikings have overachieved, and last year was an underachieving season. When you look at their defense, if you look at the guys who started week 17 last year or week 15 last year on defense, and you look at the projected starters for this year, it's literally like a whole new defense, considering all the injuries that they had last year and all the free agents they brought in. It's a good-looking D on paper. So Minnesota's been hot, and yet, nothing in the preseason that I've seen makes me excited about laying more than a field goal on the road with the Vikings against a Bengals team. And again, Joe Burrow in his first start back off a season-ending injury. Again, right now the markets are largely at 3.5. If it's going to go anywhere, I think it goes back to 3, not the other direction. So if you're like Cincy, I grab the 3.5 now. I don't necessarily see this line getting up to 4.
I like it, Teddy. As we got next game up here, San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions. We're seeing the 49ers 7 in the hook road favorites here, Teddy. 7.5, that is pretty much across the board at the Wager Talk odds screen. 45.5 being the total. We got the 49ers at the Lions in the Motor City, Teddy.
Yeah, and again, this total's done very little over the summer. This side has done very little over the summer. I would expect San Fran to go off as 7.5-point favorites are right in this range. Lions aren't a team the markets are excited about. Lions aren't a team casual fans are excited about. And from a marketplace standpoint, again, San Fran coming off a truly dismal season, but the market's well aware that the reason San Fran had the year they did last year was because they were as decimated with injuries as any team in the NFL. They've gone through training camp mostly healthy, and the 49ers, like Minnesota, a hot team in the marketplace. But right now, this line isn't doing anything. I'm not seeing it moving back down to 7. I'm not seeing it move up to 8. The total's sitting flat. So in terms of urgent to bet games, this doesn't look like it's one of them.
Next game up, Teddy, we get Cleveland and Kansas City here, talking the Browns and the Chiefs, -6. That's the Chiefs at home, 53 being the total for the afternoon kicks here. 425 is what I'm seeing. Eastern time, 125 Pacific. And Teddy, from doing this show, the NFL opening line report, 1 o'clock Eastern right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel for multiple years with you, Teddy. One thing I've taken away a lot, but one that hit last year was fading the Super Bowl loser. We just talked about the San Francisco 49ers, that is, not having a good year last year, of course, being the Super Bowl loser the year before. Now we got the Kansas City Chiefs here at home against the Cleveland Browns. They were the Super Bowl loser, Teddy. Now talking about for the full season might have circled for a fade. As tough as that sounds to do with the Chiefs, it has been kind of a profit maker in the last few years. Any kind of opinion on that? And also opening line report style here, Chiefs -6 at home, Teddy, against the Browns.
Well, it certainly wasn't unprofitable to fade the Chiefs last year. If you played the Chiefs down the stretch last year, you did nothing but make money. They were an amazing team in terms of how many games they were able to win without covering the point spread. You're not getting point spread bargains on Kansas City. They don't exist. The Chiefs are going into this season right with Tampa Bay at the very top of everybody's power ratings. And with that rebuilt offensive line, a very different unit than the offensive line that got blown up in the Super Bowl. The markets are looking at KC as being the team to beat in the AFC, every bit as much they're looking at Tampa as the team to beat in the NFC on paper. Again, when you look at season wins, when you look at power ratings, the market is saying these two teams on a collision course to meet for a second consecutive Super Bowl. Obviously, a lot to go between now and then, and the favorites don't always get there. But KC, from a betting market standpoint, the markets are pretty hot on KC. Not like they're not a hot on Cleveland as well. And frankly, I was thinking this line was more likely to go back down to 5.5 and up to 6.5. But really, I talked to a couple of guys around town this past weekend about this game in particular. They're getting two-way action on this game. There's Chiefs money coming in. There's Browns money coming in. We're not likely to see a significant move. It's not going across any key numbers. It's not getting a 7, not getting down to 4, 4.5. It's going to stay in this range between now and kickoff. And, of course, the highest total on the week 1 board. That's another one that I don't expect to see a whole lot of under money coming on Cleveland and KC. If you like this over, not going to hurt you to get involved now.
Teddy, a good one here in the AFC East. Talk about kind of a key matchup week 1. The Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots here. We're seeing the Pats -3. There is a -2.5 out there in the offshores, but mostly -3 at the Wager Talk odds screen. 44.5, if not 45, being the total. We've seen somewhat Pats money since the 1.5 at the opener here. What are you thinking, Dolphins and Patriots, Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, it's this at 2.5 all summer, and the market's moved to 3 during the preseason, and they've been sitting at 3 ever since, and I don't think it gets back off of 3. I really don't. Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And you talked about the one book in the global marketplace, the 2.5. Yeah, I mean, there were 2.5s all summer on this game, but most of them got taken out, the vast majority. And, here in Vegas, it's 3 everywhere. Total-wise, for Miami and New England, we've seen some inklings that there could be some under money coming in this one. And frankly, watching these two teams in the preseason, I don't disagree with that assessment. When we're talking about a Dolphins defense that's on paper absolutely elite, and a Patriots defense that on paper and in practice this preseason has looked extremely effective and night and day better than last year. No surprise that this under takes some money, even with and that may depend on whether Cam Newton or look, if Mac Jones ends up being the opening day starter, Belichick said he doesn't know who's going to be started yet. If it's Mac Jones, expect under money. I'll tell you that right now. And if you want to get ahead of that, you bet the under now. Although if Cam Newton starts, you're not likely to see this total get pounded down.
And guys, feel free to shout out any questions here in the chat box. Just fire them out. We'll answer them as fast as possible at the end of breaking down each and every game. But Teddy, just one question here, because it's due to this game, as we do have a couple games left. Does this Watson to Miami rumor really have some legs? ? If so, how does it impact the lines going forward for both teams? That's from Can't Get It Right in the chat box, Teddy.
So my impression of the Watson to Miami rumors is that all smoke, no fire. All right. Okay. Again, reporters need stories. And one reporter broke the story and said, oh, yeah. And then every single person from Miami said, yeah, you're joking. You can't bring Deshaun Watson onto a team right now. You can't do it. All right. It's for a move to say, all right, this move makes sense. Sure, I'd love to have Deshaun Watson without legal issues over his head that's going to piss off half your fan base. You can't bring him in now. Deshaun Watson, he's untradeable. I don't think anyone wants him. And when you that same report was like, oh yeah, they want 3 number 1s and a pair of number 2s, and Miami's ready to pay that. It's one of those reports. It sounded to me like it was absolute nonsense. It sounded to me, again, beat writers need stories every single day. Every day, got deadline. Well, I'll take the under on Deshaun Watson going to Miami. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that report, I mean, 3 first-round picks is what did it for me, Teddy. I was like, I don't know if that risk-reward really sounds right from the Dolphins side point, but yeah, I agree with you.
And remember, you're not the whole idea when you're trading up to get a quarterback in for the first pick, and you're like, all right, I'll trade 3 future first-rounders for this one. You're getting that QB on his rookie deal. Watson ain't on his rookie deal. You got to pay Watson.
Right. So
it's not even like you're trading these 3 number 1s and you're getting a bargain price QB. You're trading these 3 number 1s. You're getting a QB that's going to sink your payroll. Doesn't make sense.
Well said, Teddy. As we got 3 games left on the Sunday slate here, Denver and the New York Giants. Next game up here, we're seeing Broncos -2 in the hook. They've taken some money throughout. We're seeing 42.5. being the total here, this one in MetLife in New York, Teddy.
So if I'm going to doodly-oop, this is the game we're going to doodly-oop on. You ready, Brett? You ready, Drew?
Yes, I am.
Doodly-oop.
Emergency betting alert.
Yeah, this lane, it looks like this one could go up to -3. All right. Denver's taking money today. Denver took money all preseason. Denver's a hot commodity in the markets right now. And the fundamental matchups of this game, the Broncos defensive line against the Giants offensive line, is a fundamental matchup that doesn't work for the Jersey side of the equation. So, again, is this line for sure going to 3? No, but it's moving in that direction. Like the Broncos, I bet them sooner rather than later.
Last afternoon game on Sunday, September 12th. Here we get the Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints, total of 50. Green Bay -3-point road favorites. Teddy, interested in your opinion, opening line report style, and also anything here with the hurricane affecting the Saints side of things?
Sure. So I tweeted yesterday about how, and yesterday you saw it in Vegas. They were betting, they're going around town betting Saints under. In lieu of the hurricane, when the forecast came out and saw a direct hit on New Orleans, there was money coming in on New Orleans under their season win total, remembering the disaster from Hurricane Katrina and the disaster of a season the Saints have. And, of course, I tweeted it and then got the pushback. Oh, you're tweeting it, people, tragedy. And, yeah, I understand. It's a nightmare situation if you're stuck in New Orleans. I'm a sports bettor in Las Vegas. I'm not going to fix that. What I am going to do is try to give info about where the markets are going to move. And you can get a sense with the hurricane hitting New Orleans, the markets are going to come in against the Saints for the season. We haven't seen that for week 1. I haven't seen any of that. We have seen that for week 1 with all the Packers money coming in. You know, again, New Orleans was a favorite at the open. And now Green Bay's -3. That's not going anywhere. Packers are going as road chalk here. They're going to go off as 3-point favorites. And it may be higher based on what type of disruptions happen in New Orleans over the course of the next few days. Obviously, they flew out. They're practicing in Houston right now, which is probably a good thing for the Saints because you don't want to be home dealing with the aftermath of a hurricane. It's better to be out of town and put all that distraction in the rearview mirror behind you. But Green Bay has been the popular choice and may well continue to be in the betting market. It's not going to hurt you if you like the Packers to lay 3 with them now. That number can only go up.
Sunday night football here, 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific kickoff. Chicago Bears, LA Rams, Teddy. We're seeing 44.5 or 45 being the total, -7.5. That is the LA Rams at home.
Yeah, and we've seen, I'm not going to call steady money for the Rams. We've seen enough money for the Rams over the summer to push us off the key number of 7. However, at a handful of leading indicator books that we're seeing a little bit of Bears money. And, of course, it's a Rams team that showed absolutely nothing in the preseason. No team in the NFL showed less than L.A. So the markets expect to see a Rams team that, with Stafford behind center that's ready to compete for a Super Bowl. I wouldn't be shocked if this comes back to 7. If it's moved up, if you like Chicago, it's not going higher than the 7.5 that it already is. So if you like Chicago, I take the points now. We may see the broader market sitting at 7 by kickoff.
Guys, fire out any questions here in the chat box. Wager Talk YouTube channel at Teddy_covers on Twitter, at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. We'll answer a couple of them here before we shut this down. We got one game left. It's the Monday night game, Teddy, September 13th here. Baltimore Ravens, Las Vegas Raiders. We're seeing the Ravens as the -4. There is -4.5 as well, depending where we're shopping here. 51 being the total. Allegiant Stadium in the desert, Teddy. Monday night, our Las Vegas Raiders hosting the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, and this one is, again, right now you can find a -4 and you can find a +4.5. There has been money coming towards Baltimore over the last 24 hours. It was all 4s yesterday, and now we're seeing 4.5 starting to pop. That tells me that if you like the Ravens, they're one you want to bet sooner rather than later. Although, of course, the first game for Allegiant Stadium, with the first regular season game with fans in the stands for the Raiders, is certainly something that the broader betting markets, they're feeling like this is one of those games with the home field edge is really worth something. All that being said, if you look at Harbaugh's track record in week one, the Ravens are ready every year. So I'm not surprised we've seen some Baltimore money. And again, I don't know that it's going to be a flood of Ravens money, but if you can find a -4 now, I don't think you're going to get better than that if you like Baltimore. So lock in today and at least not get worse than -4. Because it doesn't. I don't see any indications that we're going to get Raider money now in kickoff.
Well done, Teddy, on all the games here for week one. Guys, fire off these questions. We'll hammer them real quick. We got Abel saying, what is the % chances of dogs covering and winning on week one of NFL? Have you seen any differences here, Teddy, in terms of the underdogs covering week one, either more or less than, say, week 2 on in the NFL?
So in college football, there's something real to that. I want favorites week one. Okay, I don't like the dogs week one, but the dogs that I'm backing in week one, I'm backing on the money line a lot of times. Illinois, it's your class example this past weekend. They didn't just cover, they won going away. In the NFL for week one, I haven't seen any long-term trends saying your favorites are better here, your dogs are better here, the money's going to come this way or the money's going to come that way. It really is a game-by-game basis, and not there's not a broader market trend that I can give you. I don't know one. I don't know one because I haven't seen one.
Yeah, me neither. In the NFL, I would just kind of add to that, Teddy, the volatility is higher in college football, at least in my opinion, in terms of, hey, if you're going to take an underdog, like you're talking about that Illinois game, maybe sprinkle a little bit there on the money line because of just the volatility. The market's kind of power rating them a little bit differently. So that can kind of happen maybe a little bit more in college football. We got Michael saying, best show. Well, thank you, Michael. I thought the time moved last week. What's the consistent time it will start all season long, Teddy?
Right here, right now, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. There were some schedule changes. Last week's show we had to do, and we had to tape it, and then it aired a little bit later in the day. But we recognize this is information that has to come out as early as possible on a Monday morning. So moving forward, we will be live right here, same bat time, same bat channel, 10 a.m. on the left coast, 1 p.m. for you back east every Monday right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel.
Yes, sir. The voice inflection from Teddy covers as well. David H. asking, what's up with all these 0.5 points, meaning 7.5, 6.5, 3.5, Teddy, 2.5. There is a lot of them this week. Is there anything to that being week one, or no? Just that's the way it is this week.
No, I mean, it's just the difference between a game. The difference between a game being -4 or -4.5 is just one bet. I love when -4, so it makes a big bet. It goes to 4.5. You'll oftentimes see a lot of games lined right around the key numbers. 2.5, 3, 3.5, 6.5, 7, 7.5. And again, the markets like to stay on the number as long as they can. But in terms of the flat number of 3 as opposed to 2.5, 3.5, that being in when they can. When the money flows and you can't, you have too much liability at 7, boom, there it goes, 7.5. So it's not anything. It's not some nefarious trick the books are trying to pull or anything like that. It's just how the markets have moved this week.
Okay. Davis asking, will you guys be doing every game on the board for college and the NFL this week? Yes, Davis, we will. The Sports Memo podcast going strong. We're also doing that on Twitter as well. Teddy's a part of it as well. Teddy, what day works best for you to do the college football every game on the board, man?
Oh, I don't know. Thursday, Wednesday. I don't care. What day are you doing it? You tell me. We'll figure out a time. I look forward to it, but I don't know offhand. Thursday.
Okay. No, good stuff. Putting Teddy on the spot here, live streaming. Davis, thanks for the question. But yes, the College Football Every Game on the Board podcast will be going strong. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, look for it to be posted. But yeah, Teddy, hey, I guess Gooch asking, how big is the J.K. Dobbins injury to the season win total? Anything quick on that?
J.K. Dobbins' injury is worth nothing to the season win total. Not even 1/10 of a win. Of all the positions that don't matter, running back is at the very, very top of the list, especially when you're talking about a deep running back core for the Ravens. What do? Buy Gus Edwards. Baltimore will be fine. It will not affect the season win total marketplace or their week 1 line even a little bit.
Okay, and Shane, thanks for joining us there from Ireland on the other side of the pond. Guys, we're up against it time-wise. Check out Teddy Covers, WagerTalkSportsMemo.com, his NFL season win total report. This part number 2 being released today, so an important day to check out the website here. 69%, 91 and 41, multiple decades, guys, going back to 2001. This is a great report to have. The analysis helping you week to week is something I like as well. And Teddy covers his NFL seasons here. 225 and 173. That's 57% in the NFL betting markets the last 6 years. 57%, guys. I know that's a lot better than I do it. Teddy covers as good as anybody out there. Teddy, anything in closing here before we shut this down?
Guys, thanks for watching. Again, I love this show. I have fun on this show. Drew has fun on this show. The only thing we ask, give us a like, give us a follow, and if you think it's a good show, please tell your friends. We are trying to blow up the opening line report this football season. If you think it's good content, please share with your buddies. That's all I ask. Thank you so much.
I like it, Teddy. The trajectory of this show going upright. We got the graphics this season. We're moving up in the world, guys. Thanks to you. Please smash that like button on your way out. And if you're watching on replay, feel free to leave a comment below, guys. We'll answer any questions on next week's show as well. For Teddy Covers, I am Drew Martin. Thanks for tuning in, and best of luck with your bets until next Monday, guys.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at wagertalk.com. All daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including $40 5% best bets. As an added bonus, all new users will receive $25 in wager bucks credited to their accounts, available for immediate use after their initial $9 Monday purchase. So make sure to take advantage of $9 Mondays at wagertalk.com.